Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Mackailyn Johnson in for Michael Aaron for us this Thursday. Now at noon, a gag order has been issued in the case of the alleged kidnapping of a Garland County teen, and we have the latest updates just ahead. Plus, it's an important day for Pine Bluff. Details ahead on the meeting for the city that lays out some big plans. And today is Queen Elizabeth's 96th birthday. Just ahead, we'll show you how the monarch is celebrating her special day. All right, well, thanks for joining us. We're here with meteorologist Nathan Scott. Nathan, it is muggy and humid out there.
But it's much different than compared to this time yesterday, Mackailyn.
That is true.
You were looking for the jackets and maybe the coats because temperatures were well below average. But look at the 24-hour temperature difference. We're about 15 to 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, and that's just because the air mass has changed. That warm front made its way through. Last night produced a few showers and storms, especially in northeast Arkansas. Even with cloud cover, temperatures have been able to warm up into the low 70s. Those clouds will slowly clear out through the afternoon. Here's the current winds coming in from the south and southeast, about 10 to as high as 15 miles per hour. And once the sun shows its face, and it will, by the middle part of this afternoon, those temperatures will soar into the upper 70s to lower 80s across the region. So yes, it's going to be humid out there, and we'll see plenty of sun later in the day. Now, your rain chances over the next 5 days, small chance out there today. We're dry Friday and Saturday, but then the second half of the weekend, the chance of showers and storms will be going up as the next frontal boundary starts to approach from the west. I'll have more on that and your weekend forecast coming up.
In a follow-up on a story that we told you about this morning, we can now report that downtown streets are back open after a death that occurred in the area of Markham and Scott Streets. Little Rock police are in the early stages of determining what happened. They do say that foul play is not suspected. And later today, we should learn the identity of the person shot and killed in a Little Rock home on Wednesday. Police arrested this man, Jeremy Bass, for the shooting on Alicia Court. That's near West 36th and John Barrow Road. Bass is being held without bond on a first-degree murder charge at the Pulaski County Detention Center. Now to a THV11 update. The two people arrested in the kidnapping of a Hot Springs girl on Tuesday now have their bonds set at $1 million each, jail records show. That's $200,000 on each of the counts they're facing. The immediate family is asking for privacy, and so are the courts. A gag order is now in place, meaning not much will continue to be shared with the public. As for those close to the victim, we talked to the grandmother, Felicia Spoon, who's filled with a variety of emotions. This video you see here playing a huge part in that, because this is the moment her granddaughter was back. The victim walked into Cash and Carry Liquor in Hot Springs, and that same day was brought back home. Felicia actually visited the liquor store in hopes of sharing her gratitude to the worker who made the call.
Hi. We were so happy. We were numb yesterday, but on top of that, we were very angry. It's great.
I'm glad they had a good ending. That's all that matters.
Oh, we are happy today. We're a little exhausted,
Yeah.
but we are very happy.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
The woman the victim came in contact with was off for the day when Felicia came to say thank you. We asked Felicia how she experienced the day of her granddaughter's Amber Alert, and says time moved slow after finding out her granddaughter was missing in the early hours of the day. At 1 o'clock, time still felt the same, but once they got the tip, time sped up.
It's just indescribable. I mean, there's nothing like going from fearing the worst to all of a sudden we have her, you know, and it seemed like forever, but it wasn't as many hours as it could have been days, you know, and to find them on Central, just down from where it happened, was just, that was God there. That was just amazing.
Felicia tells us the family is asking for privacy as they deal with this situation. As we get more information on this case, we will share it with you. Now, just into the THV11 newsroom, the Arkansas Department of Health has issued a boil water notice for Bryant Waterworks customers. A water main break caused a loss of pressure, and now that water might be safe might not be safe for drinking or cooking. This is a precautionary boil for those living in the area bounded by east of Reynolds Road, north of 2nd Street. You can find all the affected areas right now on the Bryant City Council's Facebook page and website. Make sure you're bringing the water to a rolling boil for 1 minute before using, even for things like brushing your teeth. And don't forget those ice cubes, they need to be thrown out as well. The boil order will stay active until officials can certify the water has passed all health and safety tests. Of course, we'll bring you the latest on thv-at-noon.com. Also happening today, people living in Pine Bluff will get to see and hear big plans for the city's future. We first told you the city hired a firm to do a comprehensive plan on how to grow Pine Bluff. Today, we'll learn their recommended strategies and what's already been approved for the project. That public town hall meeting is scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. Now, if you start to see smoke coming from Pinnacle Mountain, there will be no need to be alarmed because starting today, park officials are burning trees, tree trimmings, and brush. They started at 8 in the morning and will continue until around 4. Now, this will last through Tuesday of next week. The burning will not occur over the weekend. This is happening due to the construction of a brand new visitor center in the state park. With all of this being said, the park says there will not be any park closures during this time. And today, the governor is set to travel to Batesville to meet with leaders of the lawnmower maker Toro Company. Toro recently bought lawnmower maker Intimidator Group of Batesville in a $400 million deal. Intimidator is the maker of Spartan mowers, a zero-turn mower that's had strong brand recognition in the South. In addition to Spartan mowers, it also makes a line of side-by-side utility vehicles. It had about $200 million in net sales last year. And several nonprofits across Arkansas will be inspiring you to donate your time and money today. The Arkansas Symphony Orchestra is among them. It's holding a free concert tonight at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in North Little Rock. It starts at 5:30 and donations will be accepted. It's also a day of caring for the United Way in western Arkansas. Hundreds of volunteers in Fort Smith will spend the day painting, clearing debris, and helping with office work. President Biden announced more than $1 billion in new support for Ukraine, including more weapons for the military and economic support for the Ukrainian government. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
Good morning, everyone.
President Biden says the U.S. will send more powerful weapons to Ukraine, rushing to get the additional assistance there to be used against Russia's latest assault in the eastern part of the country.
Today, I'm announcing another $800 million to further augment Ukraine's ability to fight in the east in the Donbas region. This package includes heavy artillery weapons, dozens of howitzers, and 144,000 rounds of ammunition to go with those howitzers.
Some Ukrainian soldiers have already begun training on the howitzer systems, but the president says he needs Congress to approve more funds to keep supplying Ukraine with the weapons they need.
My hope is, and my expectation is, Congress would move and act quickly.
We'll learn about that in the next day or so, to be taken up as soon as we can next week.
President Biden and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen met with Ukraine's prime minister today and also pledged an additional $500 million to help keep Ukraine's government operating.
More than 10 million people are suffering because there is no food, no water, no electricity or water supplying, so we again support them, and we have support from our partners in this activity, and thank you, the United States.
In the besieged city of Mariupol, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered his forces not to storm the steel plant, where both Ukrainian civilians and soldiers are taking shelter. Instead, Putin has told his troops to block it, so, quote, not even a fly can get through.
He should allow humanitarian corridors to let people on that steel mill and other places that are buried under rubble to get out.
Elsewhere in the city, 4 buses carrying civilians managed to flee, the first major evacuation in nearly 2 weeks. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The president also announced today a new process to allow up to 100,000 Ukrainians to seek refuge in the United States. The move will streamline the process and allow Ukrainian refugees to come to the states directly from Europe as opposed to flying to Mexico and then seeking entry on the southern border. Protecting the environment is top of mind for many Americans daily, but have you considered doing so in the afterlife? Just ahead, we'll have more on a new eco-friendly funeral option.
And we're still socked in with a lot of clouds around the region, but be patient. The sun will return this afternoon and the temperatures will skyrocket. Those temperatures will stay on the very warm side going into the weekend. I'll let you know when our next chance of shower storms will arrive in the forecast next.